Okay, I've already started broadcasting, but I'll give Georgia on a couple others a minute or two. And they're going to make today.
Question, I did this tax return, and this guy had moved to North Carolina for like a couple days, and that's his job. But it has that he's getting. That's he worked at Bojangles. He's back in now, but the company is done.
I know. They took up months.
Like I have to go. Yeah, I do. Everything it said will get back.
This is only. It's only.
Yeah, that's, it's showing that he's getting back everything. I just wanted, so when I
All right, let's get started with cost class. See, Giorgio is here, and Lorenzo will probably show up. Okay. Let's don't worry about taxes until next class. Okay, we started chapter 6 on process cost accounting. I'm going to give you a little problem here that I want you to work real quick. We don't have a lot of time on this problem, but it's just a check to see if you know weighted average and FIFO. Okay. If I can find the problem. All right, beginning working process. 10,000 units. Now for materials and conversion costs, for materials they were 100%, and conversion cost 40%. All right, units started. This is beginning inventory. I can't help my pen don't write too great.
Units started how much?
That is 401,400. Gosh. Okay, here's what we have. Repeat. Beginning inventory is 10,000. Materials, they were complete 100% for materials. Conversion cost 40. Started 401, 400. Ended inventory 5,400. 100% complete for materials, 80% for conversion cost. I want you to work this both ways, by the weighted average and by FIFO. Take a minute and do that. And I'll show you the answer real quick. Take a minute, see if you can do weighted average and FIFO. Well, Miss Tanda, if you want to find the amount transferred out, hey Lorenzo, okay, if you wanted to find transferred out, just take your beginning inventory of 10,000 plus starting for 1,400 minus your ending inventory, and you'll get transferred out. That's what the TO is. And I'll go ahead and give you that number, 406. Do the weighted average method and do the FIFO method. There are two different answers for materials and conversion costs. Giorgio, do you have weighted average yet?
Yes.
What have you got?
For materials,
Yeah.
411, 400.
All right. And for conversion cost?
410, 320.
For what?
410, 320.
That's both are correct. Now, Giorgio has just done weighted average. He got 411, 4 for direct materials, and he got 410, 320 for conversion cost. All right. If you don't have those two numbers, work on them. If you do have them, do FIFO. So, Giorgio, have you got FIFO? You're quick on these today. What's your FIFO answer?
For materials, 401, 400.
And?
406, 320.
Okay. Now, I want all of you to turn your books to page 210. Page 210. Page 210. There's the problem.
Mine
Page
is
14.
older.
Page 210.
Mine is an older version, so
Oh, yours is an older version? Well, no wonder.
pages.
All right, it is page 210 in the new book. It's appendix 1. First page,
Oh,
appendix 1. The appendix. Page 3. It's the same problem.
Yes.
There's your answer. Okay. There's your answer, and just another way of doing weighted average. Right, if you want to do this one.
Yeah.
210, right down here, but good information I caught today. That's a lot of All right, that was just a look again at direct materials and conversion costs with the two. All right, we've got to know equivalent units. The next step is unit cost. And the next step is accounting for that unit cost and the unit. So you're finding the value of completed goods, value of any work in process, and you can, that's called a production summary in most books. This one, I don't know what they call it, okay? But anyway, now as far as getting into this chapter, I want to get back, I think, to well, I don't have PowerPoint principles and PowerPoint cost. All right, let me run back to those PowerPoints for just a minute on this chapter. Don't want to cooperate with me. All right, what we just did, appendix 1, an alternative method used to calculate equivalent units. And I think that's one way that I handle it. The best formulas that I have found would be this. On weighted average, it's just transferred out. And then your ending inventory. That's all you need to do the weighted average. And do that for materials, of course, and for CC. All right, now for FIFO, I told you had to take beginning inventory and be careful with their percent. If they see 60% completed, you use 40%. And then we had here started and finished. And then we did the ending inventory. And we did that for materials and CC. So this is the best format I have found. But there's a different format in the book if you want to use it. Okay.
Second, what was CC? What was CC?
Conversion cost. Well, I don't know where I'm at on this thing up here, but there it is. We may look at Appendix 2, which is standard costing method. We will have to look at normal and abnormal spoilage. We'll have to look at that also in the equivalent units. We had a comparison of job order and process cost accounting. We mentioned that the numerator was all your production cost, all your cost, and then you divide that by equivalent units. So I want to look through these fast again. Showed you a materials requisition form and a timesheet. Units produced is the denominator, which is the equivalent units. And from the beginning of time, I've been preaching this. A company cannot put a unit cost on if they don't know the equivalent units, and so forth. It depends what method you're using, but you got to convert them to equivalent whole units, and that's what we've been doing. This, don't worry about it. All right, two process costing methods, weighted average, combines beginning working process, current period production, and first in, first out, separate, but you don't have to worry that. When you do problems, this will come natural to you. The weighted average, the one I gave you is started and finished. So, the way I did it, we did not count this at all, and we did transfer it out. That's the only difference between my method and the way the book did it. And we know we had materials, labor, and overhead as we've done all along. So units to account for, we've done that. All right. If you had beginning inventory, 400 units, and you started 10,000 units, it's simple. How many do you have to account for? 10,400. Now, where do those 10,400 end up? Started and finished. Let's say we started and finished 900. How many is left in ending inventory?
10,400.
No, wait a minute. Sorry, wait a minute. I got something wrong here. I'm combining two things and I shouldn't. Okay, units started, beginning inventory, transferred out. Now, how many units are left? All right. Now, what does beginning inventory plus started add up to be? 10,000 what? And what does transferred out and ending inventory add up to be? All right. That's what they mean by accounted for. Okay. Units to account for, 10,400. Units accounted for, 10,400. Then we get down to cost to be accounted for. All right. And then we need to do per unit. Same thing here. Now, this is sort of like a production report also. All right, there's your beginning inventory and started, and they give you 205,700 units to account for. And anyway, then your equivalent units to account for 2,500. I don't know where they calculated direct materials, started and completed, ending inventory equivalent units, 205,700, 205,600. We've calculated those by the, I don't see their percents. They did not give the percents, so I can't account for those. And cost to account for. Now, this is what we're going to end up today. Cost per equivalent unit, assign cost to, transferred out, and ending working process using a weighted average method. All right. FIFO, steps 1, 2, 3, 4 are the same. You get the equivalent units, take your current cost divided by your equivalent units, and you get weighted average. Look, you get the same thing, I think. By weighted average method, you got 489, and this thing don't cooperate. But by you got $1.60. This is and 325. This is your total cost. That'd be your cost transferred out. That wasn't where it was. I was down here somewhere. All right, you got 489 under the weighted average, and you got 485 under the FIFO. All right, but you still got to end up with the same dollars total when you account for the dollar spent. I don't care what method you got. If your department has $10,000, you got to account for $10,000, no matter what method you do. And here they're accounting for $4,091 by either method. Okay. So this is what we are doing. When we put this together, we'll calculate equivalent units. We'll do a cost per equivalent unit, materials and conversion, and then we'll multiply transferred out and what's left in ending inventory. And we do the same thing for FIFO. And that's what we want to do today. Okay. And we'll try to learn that with one department. Now, the purposes of doing all this, we need to put a value on ending inventory for your balance sheet because it is an asset. Assign a value to items transferred out. We want a cost of goods sold. Prepare the journal entry for finished goods. We looked at those alternative methods. All right, now what we're going to do today is look at one of those problems from beginning to end. Now, did I give you, Giorgio, any homework problems?
Yes.
And they would be where or what?
15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 23, 26, 28.
Well, that was a lot. All right,
8 problems.
okay. It's 15. Say those one more time. 15.
16, 17, 18, 20, 23, 26, 28.
Now, those are bits and pieces of what we looked at today on PowerPoint. Bits and pieces. So, therefore, we'll put it all together and have a production summary, I hope, by the end of the period. Now, on number 15, this manufacturing company, and of course, as of September, the beginning working process was 45% complete as to labor and overhead. In September, the ending working process was 65% complete as to conversion. Determine the total number of pounds to be accounted for if they used a weighted average method. I don't care what method you use, the total number to be accounted for is the same. So all you have to do is add a couple of numbers there together. And what would be your answer there, Robert? How many units are we accounting for in number 15? You can look at it and just add in your head. Meanwhile, I'll try to see if I've got solutions on here somewhere. In a Word doc. Okay, what was your answer, Robert? It's 600 and what? No. All right. How many did we have at the beginning, Robert? 20, how many? And how many did we start? Add those two together. Right, okay. Now, determine the equivalent units of production for direct materials. All right. And if we have 608 left of those 624, we have we completed 608 of those 624. What was your ending inventory? 608 subtracted, what would it be?
16,000.
All right. And you'd have to multiply that ending inventory by what, 65%?
Yeah.
All right. Now, started during September was 600, but how many did we transfer out? We must have transferred out to 608. Same thing, completed and transferred out. Take those as one and the same. All right, so let me show you the rest of this solution. Here's a question I asked Robert. Here's a question Giorgio answered. Unit started and completed. If we want to do FIFO, you got to know started and completed. So we know we shipped out 608, transferred out or completed. And we had 24 of those beginning inventory, assuming we finished those. So started and completed was 508. And that's what I use. That's what I use for started and finished when I do FIFO, okay? All right, so that was A, B, C on that one, I guess. Number 15, just calculate an equivalent units. And now if you're going to do equivalent units, take beginning inventory. Now, I ignored that. This is the way I do FIFO. All right. I do FIFO usually that way, but I have a percent up here. Okay. But you can do it their way, or you can do it the way I've been showing you. I would have just taken units transferred out, 584, and then that ending inventory of 16. What percent was it completed? I would have taken 584 plus 16. What's 584 plus 16? That's back up to
608. Or 600.
no. I'm doing something different. No, I'm crossing the two methods. Completed is started and finished 608, but this was started and finished. Okay, these were completed or transferred out. All right, you're right. I would have just taken the 608, and if I can keep up with a pen that writes on this thing. I would have taken the 608 plus ending inventory for materials of 16. That would make the 624, wouldn't it? So I would have taken the 608 plus the 16 and got the same thing. And over here, I would have taken the 608 plus the ending inventory times 65% and got to 10.4, and I got 6 to 8 at 10.4.
The transferred out would be You would consider the completed during September, the units transferred out?
Yeah, completed and transferred out, we'll call one and the same. Now here I would have taken 608 and I would have added the number we had there a minute ago, okay, 10-4. And I'd have got the same answer they got here. And of course here. All right, but you can do it third way. The only thing they are doing different, they're taking beginning inventory 100% from everything, right? And they're adding into that unit started and completed. This is not a bad way to do it. Then you're in an inventory. All right, number 16. O'Malley Corporation uses a weighted average method, and they give you the units and they give you the percents completed. Folks, I'm not going to go over every one of these that just says equivalent units. We'll just check your answer real quick. For 16, your answer is 515,300 for materials, 458,230. Okay. This was just a lot of practice doing the same thing. Now I think you also had, do you have a question? You had 17? All right, weighted average equivalent units of production for A, B, C, and D. All right, Giorgio, we'll start with you on that side. How about 17A? What did you have?
355, 200. The accrual units.
All right, you got 355,
200.
200. That's conversion cost, okay? All right, Sophia, how about Olivia? All right, it's nice to have two names. How about your answer to B part? All right, how much did you say 514A?
Yeah.
Okay, these are just equivalent units again for conversion cost. Tanda, do you have C part?
419,508.
All right, 419,508. Your Olivia one had it. Lorenzo, do you have D? All right. D is 359,835. Well, maybe 3 out of 5 here at home. Okay, 6%. I had a young man who came to Christ one year. It's like, get a book, no paper, no pencil, and sign the roster, and boy, a pencil. More good activities like this in Christ. There's no book to look at. And he showed me his cell phone and it was knocked off the move. If you get knocked picked off the move, get in, it won't trace out of 4-5. And if you all ever get down the move.
Yeah, if you don't log in for like, if you don't log in for 6 weeks in a row, then you get kicked out.
Well, if you don't log in,
For 6 weeks in a row, then you get the black pay.
that's what locked them out. I don't say move, 6 weeks in a row, you didn't get that. I don't know, I guess it's those colored chambers, get back in. Okay, at this point in time, you know, it's probably too late for him anyway I would just encourage him to drop the course. Okay, now 18, we're getting into FIFO, and it says what proportion of work needs to be performed in the beginning inventories. And it says use exercise 15 and what are the equivalent units of production for materials and conversion costs. All right. I'm just going to look at this one pretty quick unless you have a question. Now, they do theirs. They use the format here the same way I do. They take beginning inventory, started and completed, and ending inventory. And they do the same thing, okay? And for materials, if it's 100% finished, you don't have to add any. And started and completed obviously is 100%. And then your ending inventory, you put 100% of materials. So you've got 684 plus 16. So you got equivalent units of 600 for material. And for labor and overhead, all right, was that 45%? Did they give you 45%? Look back at 15 and see if they gave you 45% for beginning inventory. They did.
Yeah.
If you look back at 15, they gave you 45% already completed. That's why I want you to be careful and subtract and get this 55%, and that will give you CC beginning. That gives you ending, started and finished and ending. So this is simply just FIFO. We'll get through equivalent units. We had 20, I guess, 23, 26, and 28. If you practice these, you will be getting pretty darn good. Number 20, using the information exercise 17. So now, if you use that information, number 20, you are doing 4 more problems. You're doing FIFO 4 different times. Here, CC is 351.2. And here, CC is 5028. And CC is 411.330. And CC is 356. Okay. Any questions on FIFO? On any of these? All right. Okay, now let's look at 21. I want you to do A and B on number 21 without the help of a computer or laptop or cell phone right up move. Okay. We'll see if everybody can do. I'll be satisfied with equivalent units if everybody can do 21 A and B. You folks at home, there's about 5 of you. So please do the same thing. Practice number 21 with us, A and B. Okay, Lorenzo, do you have any of A finished?
I've got the materials part.
What have you got for A?
I've got for the materials equivalent unit of production, 635,000.
Did you get 635?
Yeah,
And how about labor?
I was working on it.
Now labor 618,490 and overhead is 624,840. They didn't combine those into CC conversion costs because they have different percents. All right?
So wait, but when it says about the beginning inventory, because like right now we are using the different, like I use the method of the transfer out. Like
Then ignore it, forget an inventory.
yeah.
But how many was transferred out here?
I got 609, okay, 609,600, 609,600.
If you had 15,000 in beginning inventory and you started, you got to account for these, no matter what method, 635. Now, if you have ending inventory, 25,4, take the 635. Hey, this thing's right. Whoop. Now subtract 25,4. And what do you get transferred out? 609, 600. Okay, now, if you look at this, Lorenzo, these two together is also transferred out. These two together give you 609, 600. When I say transferred out, that can be broken down in the beginning inventory and started and finished.
Yeah, no, I got the part, but what I was wondering is like when they give us the percentages about the beginning work to process inventory.
You ignore it.
We don't care about those
Ignore it for
percentages.
weighted average, right? Ignore it totally. And then you put in your ending. All of these will add up to the work up here, does it? My pen don't work on the screen and my chair's trying to run away. But any of these up here will add up to 609, 600. They're not taking any percent from beginning inventory. All right, then when you do the ending work in process, now these together are CC, but they have different percents this time. So now see if you can do B part for FIFO for the same problem. Take a couple of minutes. Okay, Giorgio, you're sitting back there ready. What is your FIFO equivalent units for materials?
620.
All right, 620. Okay. Tanda, did you get what it is for labor? Did you get this answer, 609,490? Okay. And Robert, did you get 613,590? All right, okay. You all are probably okay now with equivalent units, but now we got to work with it now. And we won't worry about equivalent units again. So we're going to skip 23. We're going to go down to 26. And we're going to look at unit cost for a moment. Okay, this manufacturer produces concrete garden border sections. All materials is added at beginning. Production and cost information are given. You have weighted average equivalent units of production. You have FIFO equivalent units of production. You have beginning work and process cost, and then you have current period cost. Okay, and we know we got to add the overheads and the direct labors and direct materials. So this should be pretty easy the way you have it set up. Add the materials together. That'd be 19.6 plus 54. Add that together. What do you get? 19.6 plus 54. 19,600.
73,600.
Take that 73,600 and divide it by weighted average 160,000 units of materials.
46 cents.
And then divide that by FIFO, 120.
Oh, that won't be right.
Did you get 46 cents?
Yeah.
That's what you
But
should have.
under FIFO, you only account for the current period cost.
Okay, let's see. 26A. I guess we're doing B together, but this is what I wanted. Add your cost, 73, which was 19 plus 54, and you get 46 cents. Now, if you did the same thing for labor and overhead, you'd have got to 27 cents to 63, a total of $1.36. Now, what do you mean? If we
FIFO method,
Well, yeah, if we do the FIFO method, we take
only current cost.
only current costs right here, because we don't put that beginning inventory into it, and divide by 120,000 units, which is 45 cents. And then, of course, 28 cents on labor, and on overhead, 64 cents. This one went down, these two went up. So we got $1.37 under FIFO compared to $1.36 under weighted. But we still got to come out, account for all that cost. And it does that because you got different units. All right, what is D part on this one, number 26, Aston for? How many units were in beginning inventory and what percentage of completion was each cost component? I'm not worried about that. Here, all you had to do though, divide 124,000 by 152. It says weighted average 152. Divide 124 by 152. What do you come up with? I hope it's at 70%, but
81.
that's not right then. Or were these things given? I think these things might have been given. And you're doing weighted average in FIFO. The difference was the beginning inventory under each situation. These percents may have been given, I don't know. All right, but we got to start doing and do the whole production summary. So let me give you some homework problems.
Could you ask you to scroll up to the solution of 21? 1 second. All right. Thanks.
Okay, now these are problems we need to look at Thursday. Now this is on appendix standard cost. We'll look at it, see what you can do with it. And this is those production summaries, cost and cost to be accounted for. So we should be getting out of this chapter soon. We'll wrap it up Thursday, okay? But now, if you want a bonus on the next test, I'll take these problems up Thursday. That will be your bonus on the next test, okay? And you're free to go today.